Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself in that situation where things are heating up, the chemistry is off the charts, but suddenly you're wondering, why is it taking him so long? Shouldn't he be there by now? Or on the flip side, you've noticed that sometimes he just can't hold it in, and you're left thinking, what did I do differently that time? Here's the truth: men like to pretend they're in control of everything when it comes to intimacy. They'll act like they've got the rhythm, the stamina, the timing all figured out. But in reality, you have far more influence over his body and his release than you might think. In fact, when you know exactly how to work his mind and his body together, you can make him surrender that control much, much faster. Now, before you think this is about being some kind of expert with a perfect technique, let me stop you right there. This isn't about perfection. This is about creating the right energy, connection, and anticipation that makes him unravel. Think about it: when you know how to push the right emotional and physical buttons, he doesn't stand a chance. He'll give in before he even realizes it. And let's be honest, sometimes speeding things up is exactly what you want. Maybe you don't have all night. Maybe you want to feel that explosive passion without dragging it on forever. Or maybe you just want to prove to yourself that you can make him melt in your hands. So today, I'm going to show you 5 simple but powerful tips to make him release faster without losing the intimacy, the fun, or the connection. When it comes to making a man release faster, the number one mistake most women make is thinking it's all about the body. They assume, if I just do this move or touch him here, that's what will make it happen. But here's the secret: his body responds to his mind before it responds to your hands. The real accelerator is anticipation, imagination, and the story you create in his head. If you can play with his mind before you even touch his body, he's already halfway there. Think about this. How many times have you been excited about something before it even happened? Maybe it was a trip you were taking, a date you had planned, or even just waiting for your food at your favorite restaurant. The build-up, the waiting, teasing of knowing something amazing is coming. That's often more thrilling than the event itself. Men are the same when it comes to intimacy. Their bodies might be involved later, but their excitement begins way before that moment. So how do you do it? You start by dropping hints. A playful text during the day that plants an image in his head. A cheeky smile across the room that makes him wonder, what is she thinking about right now? Even just whispering something in his ear when you're close, not giving him the whole picture, but just enough to spark curiosity. This isn't about giving it all away. It's about making his mind race with possibilities. When a man's imagination is activated, he begins to lose control. He's not just thinking about what's happening right now. He's thinking about what might happen in the next 5 minutes or the next 5 seconds. His body starts responding to images and ideas long before you even lay a finger on him. That's why dirty talk, playful tasting, or even setting a mood with the way you look at him can be so powerful. It bypasses his logic and pulls him into raw anticipation. Now, let me be clear, you don't have to be overly dramatic about it. You don't need to rehearse a script or pretend to be someone you're not. This is about subtlety. Maybe you lean in close and let your breath linger near his neck, not touching him yet, but letting him feel that you could at any second. Maybe you graze past him lightly, leaving his skin tingling and his mind screaming, please, just do it already. That space between what you might do and what you haven't yet done is where his control starts to crumble. And here's the best part. When you master the art of playing with his mind first, you don't even have to work as hard later, because by the time you actually do touch him, his body is already primed, his self-control is already weakened, and his release is going to happen much faster. Why? Because you've created a cocktail of adrenaline, desire, and impatience inside him. He's been building this up in his head, and the physical moment feels like the payoff he's been waiting for. Let's not forget, men are visual creatures. A simple glance from you, the way you bite your lip, the way you look at him like you're holding back a secret, that's enough to send his imagination spiraling. Combine that with a few playful words that make him feel like you're in charge of the situation, and suddenly he's no longer steering the ship, he's just along for the ride, desperately trying not to crash before he reaches the destination. So if you want him to release faster, start before the touching even begins. Step into the role of the tease. the mystery, the one who knows exactly how to pull his strings. Because once his mind gives in, his body has no choice but to follow. One of the most powerful ways to make a man release faster is to keep him guessing. Men think they're masters of control, right? They tell themselves, I can last as long as I want. I've got this under control. But the moment you start playing with rhythm, the moment you break his expectations, he loses that control quicker than he realizes. And the secret to breaking that control is switching between tease and intensity. Let me paint the picture for you. Imagine a roller coaster. What makes it so thrilling isn't just the fast drops. It's the climb, the suspense, the anticipation of not knowing when the big plunge is coming. That mix of slow and fast, up and down, makes the actual fall so much more intense. Intimacy works exactly the same way. If you're predictable, he can pace himself. But if you keep him off balance, slowing down when he thinks you'll go faster, then suddenly surprising him with intensity, his brain can't prepare. And when his brain can't prepare, his body gives in. The tease is powerful because it builds up his impatience. When you pull back right at the moment he thinks he's about to lose himself, he's begging for more. You're training his mind to focus only on you, waiting desperately for when you'll give him what he craves. Then, when you finally do, when you bring the heat back with intensity, his body reacts like it's been starved. That combination of deprivation and sudden satisfaction is exactly what makes him lose control faster. Now, I'm not just talking about speed here. Teasing doesn't mean dragging things out forever. It's about pausing at the right moment. It's that quick withdrawal that leaves him thinking, wait, don't stop now. And then boom, you come back in harder, faster, or with more energy. That shift makes his body surge forward. It's almost like flipping a switch from restraint to surrender. What's even more powerful is the psychological effect. Men love the chase. They're wired to want something just out of reach. So when you tease him, you're activating that primal drive inside him. He feels like he's chasing you, like he has to earn the next moment. And the intensity you give after the tease feels like a reward. That reward hits harder, and he loses his ability to hold back. But here's the real magic: you don't need to do this for a long time. Just a few rounds of slowing down, pulling away, and then hitting him with intensity is enough to make him crumble. It's not about torturing him, it's about creating contrast. Without the tease, the intensity doesn't feel as powerful. Without the intensity, the tease feels empty, but together they're dynamite. And let me tell you, when you master this dance, you'll see the look on his face change. His breathing gets heavier, his grip tighter, his ability to form words disappears. Why? Because you've short-circuited his control system. He's no longer pacing himself. He's responding to you. His body is playing by your rhythm, not his own. So the next time you're with him and you want to make him release faster, don't be predictable, be playful. Pull away when he least expects it. Give him a taste, then take it back. Watch him squirm, then give him exactly what he's craving with intensity. It's that push and pull, the roller coaster of tease and intensity, that will make him lose control long before he intended to. Remember, the more unpredictable you are, the less he can manage his own pace. And the less he can manage his pace, the quicker he'll fall right into your hands. Every man has his breaking point. You know what I'm talking about? That one spot, that one move, that one thing you do that makes him completely lose his composure. And if you want to make him release faster, you need to find it, lock onto it, and amplify it. Because when you focus on what he can't handle, you take away his ability to control the moment. Now, here's the interesting thing. Most women spread their energy everywhere. They think, if I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, eventually he'll get there. But that's like trying to boil water by turning the flame on low and moving it around the stove. It's slow, it's scattered, and it doesn't get you the result you want. The secret isn't in doing everything. It's in finding the one thing that makes him weak and turning up the heat on that until he can't take it anymore. So how do you figure out what his can't handle zone is? You pay attention. Notice how his breathing changes. Notice when his grip tightens. Notice when his body twitches, or he makes an uncontrollable sound. Those are your clues. Men don't always say it out loud, but their bodies are constantly giving away where they're most vulnerable. It could be the way you touch him. It could be the tone of your voice. It could be the way you move in a certain rhythm. But once you find that trigger, you've found the fastest path to making him lose control. Let me give you an example. Imagine you brush your hand lightly over his chest and he's calm, relaxed. But the moment you graze a certain spot lower, suddenly his breathing spikes. That's not random. That's his body telling you right there. That's where I can't handle it. And instead of moving on, you stay there. You exaggerate it. You make that your playground. By focusing on the thing that unravels him, you shorten the distance to his release dramatically. The same goes for your energy. Maybe what he can't handle isn't just physical, it's emotional. Maybe it's the way you moan his name softly in his ear, or the way you look at him with total confidence, like you're in control of the entire moment. For some men, that power dynamic makes them lose it instantly. They don't even need much physical stimulation. Your presence, your tone, your confidence is enough to push them over the edge. Here's what's beautiful about this. Every man is different. What drives one guy crazy might do nothing for another. That's why your job is to play detective. You're not just there to perform. You're there to explore, to figure out what makes him crumble. And once you find it, you don't let go. Now, here's where most women go wrong. They get nervous about staying in one lane. They think, oh, I should switch it up so it doesn't get boring. Wrong. When you hit the jackpot, the thing he can't resist, boring, goes out the window. He's not thinking, this is repetitive. He's thinking, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. That's the sweet spot. That's where his release comes faster because he can't fight it anymore. So remember this, your goal isn't to be a jack of all trades in that moment. Your goal is to be a master of his weakness. When you find what he can't handle and you give it to him with confidence, you hold the keys to his release. He won't last long because you've cornered him. His control, gone. His pace, gone. His ability to hold back, completely out the window. And trust me, once you discover his can't handle trigger and use it, you'll realize how much power you truly have in the moment. So many people think intimacy is all about technique. They stress over whether they're doing the right move, or if they're skilled enough, or if they've memorized the latest trick from some article. But here's what most women don't realize. The men don't just release because of a technique. They release because of the energy you bring into the moment. Think about it. Imagine someone giving you a hug. Now, two people could hug you the exact same way, arms around you, same physical contact. But one hug feels flat, awkward, like they're just going through the motions. The other hug makes you feel warm, safe, maybe even excited. What's the difference? It's not the technique of the hug, it's the energy behind it, the intention, the confidence, the emotion they poured into it. It's the same in intimacy. If you're doing everything right mechanically, but your energy is hesitant, distracted, or self-conscious, he's not going to melt. He'll feel that hesitation, and it actually gives him more control to pace himself. But when your energy is confident, playful, even a little bossy, it shifts everything. Suddenly, he's not in charge, you are. And when a man feels your energy taking over, his body surrenders much faster. Think about the last time you saw someone completely confident in what they were doing. Didn't matter if they were dancing, speaking, or even just walking into a room. Confidence makes you pay attention. It's magnetic. That's exactly the effect your energy has on him. If you carry yourself like you know exactly what you're doing, even if you're improvising in the moment, he'll believe it. And that belief alone makes him give up control quicker. Now, here's where it gets powerful. Energy isn't just about dominance. It's about emotion. When you genuinely enjoy yourself, when he can see and feel that you are turned on, excited, and immersed in the moment, it amplifies his experience. Men don't just want to feel good physically. They want to feel like they're pleasing you, like you're lost in the moment with them. When he sees you reacting with passion, when he hears the sounds you make, when he feels your body respond, that sends him over the edge so much faster. So instead of thinking, am I doing this move right? Ask yourself, what energy am I giving off right now? Are you in control, playful, enjoying yourself, or are you stuck in your head? Because men can feel the difference. Technique might get him close, but your energy is what tips him over the edge. Here's something else that's often overlooked: eye contact. The way you look at him in the heat of the moment communicates everything. A confident, playful gaze that says, I know exactly how much power I have over you right now, will unravel him faster than any physical trick. Sometimes it's not even what you're doing, it's the way you own the moment that makes him release quicker. And let's not forget, energy also means unpredictability. If your vibe is light, teasing, almost mischievous, it keeps him guessing. He doesn't know what's coming next, and that uncertainty makes him surrender. Because when a man can't predict you, he can't control himself. At the end of the day, ladies, remember this: you don't have to be the most skilled person in the world to drive him crazy. You don't need 1,000 techniques. What you need is the right energy, confidence, presence, enjoyment, and a little bit of playful dominance. That's what makes the difference between just another moment and one where he completely loses it way faster than he ever thought possible. So stop worrying about being perfect. Drop the pressure of technique. Step into the energy of someone who knows her worth, owns the moment, and isn't afraid to have fun with it. Because when you do that, his release won't just be faster, it'll be unforgettable. One of the fastest ways to make a man release is by playing with his psychology. And here's where so many women miss a golden opportunity. They either make it all about him or all about themselves. But the real magic, the thing that makes him lose control way faster, is when you start with him, then flip it back to you. That switch is like hitting turbo mode on his desire. Here's why: when you make it about him first, when your energy, your focus, your attention is on his pleasure, it lowers his defenses. He's in this zone of, oh my God, she's doing this for me. She's giving me all this attention. That floods him with arousal, but also gratitude and surrender. It makes him want to give in. His body responds quicker because he feels like he doesn't have to do anything. He can just let go and receive. And for a man, that feeling alone speeds up the whole process. Yeah. But then the switch happens. You turn it around. Suddenly, you're not just focused on him. You're enjoying yourself. You're moaning. You're moving in ways that feel good for you. You're letting him see how much you are taking pleasure from it. That moment is when his control vanishes completely. Because here's a secret men can hold back when they're only focused on themselves. But when they see they're driving you crazy too, when they see the effect they're having on your body and your mind, that's when they can't resist anymore. Think of it like a performance. Imagine someone is on stage singing just for themselves. It might sound nice, but it doesn't move you. Now imagine that same singer locking eyes with you, singing like every note is for you, and then losing themselves in the music right in front of you. Suddenly, you feel it. That's exactly what happens with a man. When it feels like it's just for him at first, and then it transforms into you losing yourself, he's completely undone. And the beauty is, you don't even have to overthink this. It can be simple. Start by whispering in his ear, letting him know it's about him. Touch him in ways that say, this is for your pleasure. Let him bask in that for a moment, then slowly let your reactions take over. Let him see that now you're caught up in it too. That your breathing is heavy, your body is moving on its own, your sounds are uncontrollable. He won't just be aroused, he'll be overwhelmed. Why does this work so well? Because men are wired to want to please. They might act like they're all about dominance, but deep down, one of the biggest turn-ons is seeing the effect they have on a woman. When you start with him, you give him what his ego craves: attention, focus, indulgence. But when you switch and make it about you, you give him what his heart craves: validation, proof that he's driving you wild. Put those together and he can't hold out. His body will give in faster than he even thought possible. So here's the formula: him first, then you. Don't just stay in one lane. That build him up with that sense of being worshipped, then flip the script and let him see how much you're enjoying it. That emotional roller coaster makes him release not just faster, but with way more intensity. Because the truth is, when you make it all about him, it feels one-dimensional. When you make it all about you, it feels selfish. But when you merge the two, when you give him that attention, then let him witness your surrender, you create a moment that's unforgettable. And in that moment, he won't just release quicker, he'll crave experiencing it with you again and again. So ladies, here's what I want you to take away from this. Making a man release faster isn't about complicated tricks. It's about understanding the balance between his body and his mind. You've learned that it starts in his head. Play with his imagination before you even touch him. You've learned the roller coaster effect of teasing and intensity. The power of finding that one weakness. He can't resist the energy you bring that matters more than any technique. And finally, the magic of starting with him and then flipping the focus back to you. When you put all of this together, you stop being someone who just goes through the motions. You become unforgettable. You create experiences that don't just make him release faster. They make him remember you, crave you, and think about you long after the moment is over. That's the power you hold when you step into this playful, confident, connected version of yourself. Now, if you love this video, here's what I want you to do first. Hit that like button. It tells me this kind of content is helpful. and that you want more of it. Second, subscribe if you haven't already, because every week I drop new insights to help you build stronger attraction, deeper intimacy, and lasting love. And finally, drop me a comment below. Tell me which of these 5 tips you're most excited to try, or share your own experience of what's worked for you. I love reading your stories, and it helps other women in this community too. Remember, intimacy isn't about pressure, performance, or perfection. It's about connection, energy, and confidence. Step into that, and you'll always have the power to drive him wild. I'll see you in the next video.